Township of North Huntington Board of Commissioners, regular meeting for Wednesday, August 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Roll call. Manager Silka.
Commissioner Stump.
Here.
Commissioner Atwood.
Here.
Commissioner Blasco.
Here.
Commissioner Zona.
Here.
Commissioner Bevan. Commissioner Goss.
Here.
Commissioner Higas.
Here. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. If any residents would like to speak tonight, if you could sign the book of the podium, please. Thank you. Our first resident is Rich. If you could come up to the podium to state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Rich Nemeth, 1800 Challen Court, North Huntington. I'm here today to talk to the board about the infamous chicken ordinance that's been going for like several years now. I just wanted to let everybody know that I personally am in support of the township changing the ordinance to allow people who want to possess hens, the ability to do so. I have no plans to do it, if the ordinance is passed, but if I do choose that I want to get some, I should have that ability. And I heard it mentioned, I'm following the Facebook posts and everything, that I don't know if it was one of the board members here or something said that there must not be many supporters now because there wasn't a lot of people this time around when all this happened. Well, I think the global pandemic is the reason. I have not been out in public. This is, I put that beside me to come out tonight, to voice my concern and my support. And I just wanted to let you know that it is important. Although it's a minute thing in the global, scheme of things. If I own a piece of land, I should be able to have a chicken if I want it. I know there's many properties in the township that are in non-acceptable condition, high grass. There's residents who have dogs that bark constantly, music that blares, my neighbors mow their grass at 9 o'clock at night. I live near Clay Pike and I get a whiff of the marijuana grower and the skunk smell that comes towards me every once in a while. The township is able to handle those kind of things. So I don't understand, why someone having a chicken that maybe a neighbor complains about, why is that any different? So that's basically it. I just wanted to come and voice my support for it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. That's all right.
Next resident's Mary Ann. Just name and address for the record, please.
Mary Ann Mahalovich, Route 993, Ardare, PA. You all know what I'm here to talk about. Okay. But I think what it really boils down to is lifestyle. Certain people in certain lifestyles don't want to be infringed upon by other people and their lifestyles. Okay. And unfortunately, that's brought about a lot of problems in our world, okay, in the past. Everybody should be allowed to live the lifestyle that they want, okay? And having a few chickens in your backyard, I really don't think should interfere with somebody else's lifestyle, as long as they keep it together and keep the animals healthy and stuff like that. Really, in reality, lifestyles change every day. Could change tomorrow, okay? We've seen it happen, okay? One day you're living this great lifestyle, and the next day you're homeless, something's happened, or COVID-19 hits, destroyed everybody's lifestyle, okay? There could possibly come a time where you might be happy that guy next door has a few chickens, because there might not be any eggs at the store, I think COVID-19 has taught us a lot. And I think it's one of those things that we should allow people to be able to live their own lifestyle. They're not asking for 1,000 chickens. They're just asking for a few to sustain their family. One way or another, our lifestyle does feed the other lifestyle, because whether you grow them in your backyard or whether you buy them at the farmer's market, is still, our lifestyle is feeding the other lifestyle. You depend on us, okay? Those of us who choose to live this lifestyle. So I really don't think it would cause anybody any grief. People are going to complain about everything, like you all well know. They'll complain about anything. If you were making hand sanitizer, they'd say the smell was bad, okay? They would complain. And I just think that in the long term, I think it would be a good thing, because when you can coexist, it's always better than saying my way or the highway. I mean, obviously, the Native Americans out west, they put them all on reservations. My way or the highway. You guys have to learn our lifestyle, okay? It doesn't work. Coexist, that's the way to go. So if each side gives a little, I think this could all work out. And it could work out for the best for everybody. Thank you.
Thanks. Our last resident is Rich. Just name and address for the record, please.
Rich Gray, 12229 Adams Drive. There's two things on the agenda under Township Manager's Report, and a lot of times these items get listed and they're kind of generic. There's not a lot of detail. Sometimes the board will go into detail when they talk about them and explain the history of it, and sometimes they don't. And at that point, it's usually too late for the audience to say something. So I wanted to bring it up in advance that items 4 and 5 under the Township Manager's Report, I think you should give the history of and the details of the settlement under number 4, and the police grievance. I think you should list the nature of the grievance and then the details of the response. So I think that would help clarify things for the audience. Thank you.
Thanks. Response to citizens' input. I believe there was a chicken ordinance, I believe, later on in the meeting, so we can discuss that at that time. And then Mr. Gray with his concerns about under 4 and 5 under manager's report. Okay, going.
Sure. Number 4, as it is a legal matter, it was not published on the agenda. What the complaint, it's been a long-running complaint between North Huntington Municipal Authority and the Westmoreland Municipal Authority over who services what lots. And that was, we were brought in because as the township, we are the charter for North Huntington Township Municipal Authority. The two authorities have worked out their service issues, and we're now just party, as a signatory as the township to their settlement. There's no compensation coming out of our pockets to anything. We are just party because it's the municipal authorities within our boundaries. As to number 5, the grievance was put on the agenda that way at the advice of our labor council, as it is until it is actually voted on. That is why there's no detail to that grievance. And I'm not going to do with that. Council telling me to go into more detail on that.
I agree. I mean, collective bargaining issues are confidential until they're fully resolved.
Any other response to citizen input? All right, moving on. Approval meetings minutes for the special meeting 7/9/2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. For the regular meeting 7/15/2020.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Payment of bills.
Make a motion, we pay voucher numbers 8,060 through voucher number 8,142.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Staff reports, Public Works report, Director Albert. Anything to add to your report tonight? Nothing more to add, sir. All right. Any questions?
Rich, I just want to thank you for all the times I've sent you things that people have sent to me. You always very quickly, you and your team take care of things. It's much appreciated.
All right, thanks. Park and Recreations report, Director Miller. Anything to add to your report tonight?
If I may, just one thing for the board. I wanted to take a minute and acknowledge our parks labor staff and the seasonal summer staff for the work that they've done here all summer long. As you all can give testimony, the parks have never been more essential right now with the uncertainty of the times. I've mentioned to the manager on several times and the assistant manager that our parks have never looked better at this time of year, and I'm proud to say that I still believe that. Please visit the parks when you can. I left there this evening to come to the meeting. There's a huge crowd at Oak Hollow Park right now. But again, I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge the labor staff and the seasonal staff for the work they're doing thus far. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, before you walk away, as we move into the fall, do you think it would be beneficial to keep some of that seasonal labor going into the fall to continue some projects? I mean, we are under budget for our expenses for that. Is that something that would help out for the department?
That's something when we have our staff meetings with Manager Silka, he and I talk about some of those things when we get into interdepartmental things. You are correct. We're under budget right now with the seasonal staff. The nice thing is that some of the summer seasonal staff that we have is not going back to school or is going back to school online. So they do have the opportunity to stick with us. Jeff and I have talked about keeping a close eye on that budget line item. And if we can keep them a little longer than we normally would, yes, we would like to do that.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely have my support on that. And second question, they said there's an Eagle Scout project at Lions Park. Do you know anything about that, what they're trying to do or what they're trying to accomplish?
Mr. Turley, the assistant manager, has been actively involved with myself. We've kept Manager Silka abreast of the situation down there. The Eagle Scout project is going to be, it's probably more of an aesthetic improvement, but the small bridge that we have going into Lions Park, we're just going to dress that up a little bit and make it a more inviting entrance to Lions Park.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Thanks. Police report, Chief Rizzo.
I have one thing,
Yep.
not concerning the report. But, I just wanted to let everybody know, talking with Manager Silka, we decided to move forward with a fall Citizens Police Academy class. We reduced the size down dramatically to, I believe, 15. We're accepting applications right now. Officer Jandrick is coordinating it. So it might be already half full already. We're going to start, I think, the second Tuesday in September, or the first Tuesday in September, and it's going to run for like 6 straight weeks. So we just decided that we can make the class a little bit smaller. It was such a success last year. We didn't want to scrap the project, so we're gonna move forward with it. I just want to let everybody know that. All right, and if you know of anybody, get a hold of Officer Jandrick. She's coordinating it.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else for the chief tonight? All right, planning and zoning report, Director Fonzie and Engineer Christner. Any questions on the fire officials report?
Good evening. I do have 3 items set for your approval tonight. The first is Subdivision 5 and Site Plan 2 of 2020. That's the Penn Irwin Place Site Plan and Subdivision. Requesting board action to approve this development.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
The next item is Site Plan 4 of 2020, the Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Requesting action to approve this development.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
And the last item is Subdivision 9 of 2020, the RWS Morgan and Campbell boundary line revision in the Kingsbury development. Requesting board action to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thanks, that's all I have.
Thank you. Thanks. Solicitor's report, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are no action items on the solicitor's report for this month.
All right, thank you. Township manager report, Manager Silka.
Okay, Mr. President, I have a few items tonight. First is action to approve the July check register.
Motion to approve.
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Second, the budget report for July 2020 is provided for your review. The next item is action to authorize the township manager to enter into a professional services contract with Traffic Control Equipment and Supplies Company Incorporated of Pittsburgh for traffic signal maintenance services.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Next is action to authorize the solicitor to sign a petition for full and final settlement for case number 9494 of 2009, the Western Westmoreland Municipal Authority versus North Huntington Township and North Huntington Township Municipal Authority.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Next is action to provide a response to grievance number 71 of the North Huntington Township Police versus Township of North Huntington.
Action to approve.
Second.
So the action to approve wouldn't be either to approve the grievance or deny it. So you would have to give of approve or deny grievance number 71.
Well, that would be as we discussed at the workshop, to go with the recommendations of,
So then your motion, if that would be it, would be to deny grievance number 71, correct?
yes.
And that's what my second
would
be, yes.
So we have a motion and a second for a denial of grievance number 71. Any board discussion? All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes for denial 6-0.
The next is action to advertise for adoption and schedule a public hearing for a proposed ordinance for chicken keeping in residentially zoned areas as requested by Commissioner Stump.
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion? All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Any other further board comments?
You-
So
you-
actually, you had one more thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I do
Jeff.
have one item that I do have to add. And this is action to put a designation of agent resolution for PEMA reimbursement on, to approve, so we can submit COVID expenses for PEMA reimbursement. We have roughly about a little over $18,000 in reimbursable expenses.
So we just need a motion to add that to the agenda.
I make a motion we add the PEMA reimbursement resolution to our agenda for the evening.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. At this time, we'll take any public input for on this topic since we're adding it to the agenda. If anyone's interested. All right, go ahead, Jim.
Okay, action to approve a designation of agent resolution authorizing the township manager to execute forms for PEMA reimbursement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor by saying an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And that's it for you tonight, Jeff?
Yes.
All right, thank
I have a
you.
question.
Yeah.
Mr. Silka, do we have a follow-up on the sync-up project with PennDOT?
Is there,
The Sika project, Mike Charlie, who's been working daily, he could probably give a better update, but it's still in the engineering phase. There's no physical work done on that yet.
Do we know if that's going to be done this summer or this year, or we don't know?
Mike, you want to?
We've had some correspondence with SPC that oversees the Sync-Up program, and we're anticipating a meeting soon. I don't know exactly when, but I think within the next month or two to really launch the engineering phase. But as you can imagine, there's a lot of signals involved. There's a lot of data collection, traffic movement, left turn phasing analysis, you name it. A lot goes into it. So it's probably through the end of the year to do the engineering, the retiming, and then they'll have to do bid specifications for the equipment and hire a contractor. So we anticipate this to be done next year, the construction part of it, and the retiming.
Any other further board comments? Just to clarify too, for the people that came up for the chickens. So we're going to have a public hearing sometime next month. It's going to be listed in the paper so people can come and speak about the chickens, and we'll probably have some healthy debate at that time. Any other further board comments? Just need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor by state and aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Meeting adjourned at 7:22. Executive session to follow.